Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial-free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011111911.
Chemicals in the news lately. The FDA lists about 5,000 different substances as forever chemicals. They're ending up in your water, and the list continues to grow. Dun, dun, dun. Davis Water Conditioning has solutions for you to get your house's water clean. Visit daviswaterconditioning.com to learn more.
How pathetic can some people be?
I went on a horse-drawn carriage ride. You shouldn't. Here's what happens. You think about it, you plan it, and then you sit down and you go, we shouldn't have done this. I don't know why. Why did we do this? I have this thought over and over again, which is, we have a car. I don't know why we're doing this. I keep thinking, we have a car. Clip clop, we have a car. It's just kind of cold and weird. I feel bad for the horse. Don't you feel bad for these horses? They haul strangers around Manhattan their whole life. Where do these horses live? You're a horse in Manhattan? Where do you live? In my head, he's got a fourth-floor stable walk-up in Chinatown, and he's got to clump up the stairs and kicks the door open and goes, I got to get out of this city. I don't know. I can't take it anymore. I'm going back to Kentucky. Why do we think this notion of the past is so romantic? We do that, though, right? But like 100 years from now, we're going to be going, hey, sweetie, you want to take a Ford Focus around the park? Should we do that? Isn't that's exactly what we're doing. If someone from 1800 came to our time and saw that, they'd be going, why are you doing that? We've been trying to get rid of those for a long time.
Dumbass of the day. 93.3 KCOC.
This is a horse, of course, of a different story. 53-year-old man in Florida got arrested after his girlfriend caught him doing inappropriate things with a horse. Here's the sheriff from Polk County.
He said, well, I had just some sexual frustration. Donald Calloway, who's 53 from Lake Wells, admitted that because he was trying to do the wow thing with the horse. She said, nay. That's right. He tried to engage in inappropriate conduct with a horse, which is clearly against the law. Does Donald not know that a horse will bite you?
Now, the reason...
Why is Dr. Phil reporting on this?
Because in his spare time, he's the Polk County Sheriff. Much like Shaq. Big into law enforcement. The guy wasn't trying to do the deed like, a horse would try to do the deed. He just figured it was easier. The nostril was right there. We'll just try to go with the nostril. And that's why the horse bit him. And then he got arrested. It's just one of the more embarrassing things you can...
Must have been drunk or high, right?
Or just... I don't know.
What level of out of your mind do you have to be?
This job my entire
Okay, that's more of the...
He's a dumb son of a bitch.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah, I was hoping there was more details if I clicked on it, but of course, the sheriff has his own TikTok that he does morning briefings on. Well, I sure hope that guy from...
For now.
That guy from the show with Mark Cuban that they give people money, Shark Tank, I sure hope he saves TikTok, because if not, a lot of people are going to be upset, including the show. Oh, yeah, this guy.
I think you're talking about Mr. Wonderful?
Mr. Wonderful, yeah. Is that his name? A little bit older, a little bit balding?
I think if he does, I think it's going to get ran into the ground. It'll be MySpace 2.0.
Well, he said they're going to tear it down and make it better.
Yeah, right.
Which is makes you go.
Like, I look at that guy and I go, that guy's in tune with what the kids are doing.
Well, I'm sure he's smart enough to hire somebody. You know what I mean? So, in the meantime, congratulations to this guy in Florida, 53-year-old guy.
Got him!
That's the horse.
Got him!
I mean, there's just so many other ways to scratch an itch, man. You're Jeff and Jeremy.
Mess of the day. It's Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Congratulations going out to Rodney Wilson, Santa Maria. Hey, Big Rod.
Big Rod.
Congratulations, Week 19 winner. And how about them Rams? Here's the thing. I said the Rams, yet on the web it said I picked Minnesota. Anyways.
Well, I mean, when you're just hurrying through 6 games, there are mistakes made.
I don't know what happened.
I think I made a mistake.
I made it says here the Rams are going to win 26-22, but the thing is, maybe I had a change of heart or something.
I made a mistake.
Change of venue.
Is I picked my games, and then I didn't hit save my picks. And I logged in yesterday morning, and the page is still up, and I'm like, uh-oh. I never saved my picks. And I had Washington picked, but because the game had already played. But that's fine, because I made the pick of Tampa winning. So, in the experts panel. So, it's the way that it should have been.
All right, so this is how it goes in the experts panel. Leslie goes 3-3. Patrick goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-2, and you go 1, 2, 3, 3-3.
3-3.
And save Jeremy's.
Did I not pick the Rams? I picked the Rams.
You picked Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and the Chargers.
That's right. Hey, you want my hot take from last night's game?
You did pick the Rams.
You want to know my hot take from last night's game?
Yeah.
The Rams are getting so much positive publicity today. Matthew Stafford sitting in the post game with a LAFD T-shirt and a Rams logo underneath it. Justin Herbert could have been there, but they lost the game that they were supposed to win. The Rams were underdogs last night due to the change of venue, but it was pretty much a pick 'em. And then they realized, Sam Darnold's the quarterback. Let's sack him a lot. And they did. They tied a record for most sacks in a playoff game. The Rams. I mean, it's not like their defense has been daunting this year at all, but they do rise to the occasion when needed, and they scheme it up pretty well. Sean McVay's the best coach in the NFL. I will say this. The Chargers, due to timing of all of this, because both the Chargers and the Rams made it to the playoffs, the Chargers were a huge disappointment. The Rams were a pleasant surprise. They will advance. I think they have a chance against the Eagles. I really do. And if they can win against the Eagles, they will be the story of the town that burned on fire. And everybody that lives down there will welcome the Rams as a pleasant distraction. And they'll be ramming it for decades, and the Chargers will be an afterthought. They might as well just go back to StubHub and play at StubHub.
I think the Rams are the only road team I like this week, except for maybe Houston. Houston's still. I don't know if I really believe in Kansas City. I know they're 15-2.
I know. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
And they gave up their second loss, so they really only lost one game.
They lost one game to the Bills.
I don't know what it is. I don't feel it. But they're at home. I can see them making it through
You almost lost to the Raiders. You almost lost to the Broncos. You almost lost to the Bengals. I mean, there was a lot of almost losses from the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, you know Andy Reid coming off of a bye, and he did have a bye. He had 2 byes, really, when you think about it, because they played the Broncos in that one game. He'll be well prepared to take on the Houston Texans. But I can see a world where there's an upset there. In fact, I think that's how I'm going to pick it this week, because I got to make up some ground. And
we got time. We'll do the picks on Friday. But, so all the home teams are favorited. And right now in the Red Zone Nation, 91% of people are going with the Chiefs. 93% are going with the Lions over the Commanders. 78% are going with the Eagles over the Rams. And Buffalo is the closest matchup with Baltimore at 67% favorite or picked right now.
Do you think the Chargers ever come back from this and become they're in a constant battle against the Rams to become LA's favorite team, and they lose that battle at every turn?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's going to be
a secondary squad.
Yeah.
Move now. But I bet you the Chargers wish they would have moved to Las Vegas so bad.
Want to say congratulations to Jason Moore. He didn't go perfect, but he did go 4-2. He dropped the Chargers and the Minnesota pick. So he gets $50 to the poorhouse and $50 off his next from installation service, whatever it is, from Be Right There Heating and Air. Call the B.com.
Tuna.
And
whatever you want. You want to buy a whole house?
Whatever it is. Whatever
you want to buy a whole house fan? You use that $50 towards the whole house fan because summer is on its way, despite the fact that it was 25 degrees when I woke up this morning.
That's cold. Cold. So that's how it works. Also, again, congratulations to Rod Wilson out of Santa Maria. He's our Week 19 winner in the Red Zone Challenge. Loves himself some Boston. So we're going to play that for you 3 times every day. And he likes the Chiefs as well. So congratulations, Mr. Rod. Rodney. All right, we'll be right back. Here comes Andy.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
I like to play this game. If you were a cop, Jeremy. If you were a cop, Jeremy, and there is somebody driving down the road, now you are going to access your distracted driving laws on this one. And they are eating what looks to be yogurt or cottage cheese while driving with a spoon. Would you pull that person over for distracted driving? Obviously, if you're eating yogurt or cottage cheese with a spoon, and you've got to have something holding on the container, and then you've got to, with the other hand, be using a spoon to dip it in and eat it. Which means, what are your hands on? Are they on the?
My first question would be: are they driving okay? If they're driving fine, no. If they're swerving,
only in California could you be a cop, my friend. Only in California could you be a cop.
I would not pull you over. I would not pull you over. But maybe I would and say, why do you have the spoon? You have the container. Just use your tongue.
Oh, gross. And given the fact that it was a woman means that would be, I don't know.
Sexual.
Yeah, that would be sexually suggestive. And you couldn't pull somebody over and say that. Why don't you just use your tongue?
Hey, baby, have you ever thought about using your tongue?
So yesterday, I'm heading down Broad, the very street that popped you for going. It's as wide as the I-5, and they popped you for going. What? How fast were you going on Broad?
I was going 10 over.
10 over, which would be what? 45 miles an hour?
I think it was 50.
Okay, 50 miles an hour on Broad.
I can't remember. What does it go to? 40 or 40? It's 45, and then it drops down to,
I think it drops
maybe
to 35, yeah.
Oh, 35. I was going 45 still.
Okay.
I missed the drop down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was only going 45, and I was browbeaten and told me that there was a woman that was...
This is a street that they decided to put the most confusing bicycle / pedestrian crossing right smack dab in the middle of, and put all kinds of bicycle lanes in it as well, but it's as wide as northbound I-5 going through the valley, if not wider. So people have a tendency to speed on this road, right? And, I would think that safety is of the utmost importance on this road because you have your wonky little weird bicycle lights that flash at you, and nobody knows where to stop or if they should be stopping at all, or when the lights start flashing at you, that's the sign to go. But when lights are flashing at you, people just stay at a stop. Very confusing for most people. You have to really read the signs. Like the 5th time through it, I think you got it. But that's if you get there and you're like, the first time you're like, what's going on? You don't even bother to read the signs. You're like, what's going on? The second time you get there, you're like, oh man, this stupid light again. And then the third time you're like, maybe I should read some signs here. This lady we're in that situation yesterday afternoon, and somebody pushes the damn crosswalk sign. And when they're on a bike, they get through that crosswalk so fast. Like, in 2 to 3 seconds, they're through that. They're like, switch the light at that point. Nobody else is crossing, but you got to wait for the light to time out. So everybody's waiting there, looking at each other, going, we all can go now if we wanted to, but we can't because the damn light is flashing at us. And then when it does, where do you stop? Do you stop at the crosswalk? Do you stop at the line? What do you do? Anyways, I'm looking at my rearview mirror as the lady keeps inching up as the lights. The rule is the lights flash. You could go after coming to a stop, and then the next car behind you has to stop. Well, I'm third one back, and she's fourth.
Whoa! Wait a second. Wait. So let's go through this whole progression again. Have I been doing it wrong? All right. So they're not on. You drive through, and then you see yellow lights. That means get ready to slow down, right?
Get ready to stop. You better stop.
Yeah.
And it switches to red immediately.
Yeah, and then when it's red, you stop,
Yes.
and then when it starts blinking red, I just drive through it.
You're allowed to, but you're supposed to come.
Is that a stop? Is that a stop?
You're supposed
now?
to treat it kind of like a 4-way stop. You're supposed to stop.
Nobody does.
It's the dumbest
Everybody
thing.
just
Yeah,
goes.
it's the dumbest thing because
Everybody goes.
Everybody goes. But I look up and I see chick eating cottage cheese with a spoon, and a police officer right behind her. So what do I do in this instance? I better come to that stop. Otherwise, if I roll through it like you do and just go like everybody else does, whenever there's
You
not
might get pulled over.
there's not
Sure,
a police
you might get a
officer.
ticket.
And I'm like looking at this girl eating her yogurt or cottage cheese, and I'm like, oh my God, if I stop here, she's gonna slam into the back of me because she's eating her cottage cheese and her yogurt with the spoon, not paying
You would've
attention to
taught her
what's
a
going
lesson.
on.
But she
But I'm
was
like,
scratched your new
wait a
minivan.
minute. She's eating cottage cheese or yogurt with a spoon, and she's right smack dab in front of a police officer. How come he's not pulling her over? Is it distracted driving if you are eating with a spoon while you're driving? 805-543-3693. This is just a question. This is not a poll question or anything. It's just a stupid question. Like, is it considered distracted driving if you are eating with two hands and none of them are on the wheel? I was like, your alignment must be in check, girl.
I believe the law would say you are distracted driving.
Yeah, but you wouldn't pull them over, so you'd be a bad enforcer of the law. Hi,
Unless they were a bad driver.
who is this?
What's up? It's Josh. How you doing this morning, guys?
Good, Josh.
Yeah, I don't think people have even the mentality to keep their eyes on the road without food in their hands. So, definitely distracted driving.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
There's a lane.
Yeah, I saw a guy, it was in
Thanks,
traffic.
bud.
It was in Pismo traffic on the 101. So everybody was at a stop. But dude, I don't even know how you do this. Like I couldn't even get it down to the car. He was eating a bowl of cereal. Like you could see the milk dripping off of it onto his beard.
That's so weird. Like everybody likes a bowl of cereal for the most part, right?
Not
But
when you're
in the
driving
car.
on the freeway.
I mean, do you not
Stop and
care
go
about your
traffic.
car at all? It's going to be a mess. It's going to be all over the place. Like, I won't even stop at certain burger places to
Right,
get a certain
tacos,
burger.
like, you can't- you don't go to Taco
because
Bell.
the lettuce, the tomato, everything will be flying all over the damn place. It'll be such a pain in the ass.
That's what
to
makes
eat.
In-N-Out so great. It's a compact little burger that they
Or McDonald's,
Yeah.
because McDonald's doesn't put anything on their cheeseburgers.
They wrap it up.
They just
Yeah, exactly. They make it easy for the
It's
for
an
eating
easy eat
experience.
in the car.
I think really this is what Carl's Jr. I mean, Carl's Jr. has great burgers, but this is their problem. Their burgers are great and they have a lot of stuff on them. You can't eat them on the go like you can the other burger joints.
So, maybe the cop just couldn't see that she was eating because, he's looking from behind. There's a headrest.
True, there is a headrest.
You're
Her
looking
windows-
right into the car.
She was driving, of course. What do you think she was driving, Jeremy? What a woman in slow who can't be bothered with the task of driving to the point where she must eat her yogurt or cottage cheese while driving down Broad.
Well, I'm feeling that she must have been driving a Tesla.
Oh, that's a very good guess. It was a Subaru.
It would have been some sort of.
It was a Subaru, yeah.
Subaru. Not anybody do that. That is not safe at all. William writes in. He says, "Hey, I just got back from Tahoe. It was very entertaining watching tons of ill-equipped drivers trying to get out of the North Star's parking lot after 8 inches of snow dumped. These people had no business in the mountains in the winter.
Oh yeah, I imagine that's Tesla country that time. And like Teslas are heavy because of the batteries. Can't be that great of a snow car. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I've never driven a Tesla. I have no idea. But when you rely on
the heavier it is, the harder it is to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, physics. But and then you're on ice, and what kind of tires is on a Tesla? I mean, they're not putting. I mean, you could put snow tires on a Tesla, but I mean, most people probably don't, right? Because they live where there's no snow. Can't even imagine taking a Tesla in the mountains. Unless it was maybe that 4-wheel drive truck that they have.
Hundreds of them, he said. No common sense anymore. Apparently not.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging on. Go ahead, man.
It's the Tesla drivers. The Tesla drivers, they don't use blinkers. I don't even think they're actually driving the car. They're self-driving Tesla. I mean,
yeah.
They're riding in the back with their dog. You got someone. You can't even tell who's actually driving the car.
I mean,
they're driving.
With advancements in technology, it's a super gray area. Like, didn't you get a ticket once for talking on the phone at like a stoplight in Napomo?
Yes, I was just pulled off the freeway. I was at Tef. I was 3 cars back at the stoplight. It was red. My phone rang, so I answered it. And when I was done, I put the phone down and kept driving, and I got pulled over and I got a ticket for it. I go, I wasn't driving. He goes, yes, you were. I go, I was at a stop sign. He says, was your car in park? I go, yes, even though it wasn't. He goes, doesn't matter.
I don't know if it's the defund movement or if they just can't keep up with technology, but all that has gone out the window now. I don't see anybody there's no emphasis on distracted driving anymore.
Well, yeah,
like you said, some people in the Teslas, they're riding in the backseat with their dogs as the car's driving itself down the highway.
Preston says that he saw a girl eating a bowl of cereal while surfing on a laptop and driving at the same time.
Yep.
That's talent, by the way. I don't know how you do that.
And wait, he's seen a girl in slow. I think that's a very important fact that you're leaving out, because slow drivers are the worst drivers. They're terrible. They're terrible. They live up to the name of the city. They drive super slow all over the damn city. And I get it. It's confusing when you have 17 green bicycle lanes coming at you.
Right.
But man, can we get to where we're going?
Podhead Rick writes in on the 805 beer
Santa Maria
text line, and he says, don't knock us Tesla drivers. He says, not all of us are bad. I go, well, if your name's Pothead Rick, I'm glad you're not driving that car. I'm glad somebody's driving you around.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. 93.3 KZOZ rocks.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111 911.